of the major barriers to decisive action in the face of uncertainty is the tendency in some organizations, or by particular senior leaders, to value mistake-free behavior more than actual achievement. This was a particularly strong factor in the case of one large manufacturing company we worked with. Time and again, its executives described this sort of dynamic as part of their culture. They all agreed that it was far more beneficial for any manager's career in this organization to set relatively low strategic targets and then exceed them than to set significant stretch targets but barely miss them. Managers got bad marks even if they barely missed an ambitious stretch target, and good marks if they met a safe target, despite the actual performance level being higher in the just missed case, measured, for example, by sales revenue. The executives we talked to all recognized how this cultural norm distorted target forecasting and possibly even suppressed actual performance. It was politically unwise to develop a reputation for chronically poor forecasting. But they seemed helpless to change so powerful a norm in so large a company. Even if you can't change the culture of the whole organization, you can take steps to change the culture and behavior of people in your part of it. It is important to do what you can where and when you can do it. As a strategic leader, you can create protected space for prudent initiative and risk-taking by those who report to you, even if you may not enjoy that freedom yourself. It may be helpful in that regard to review a broad set of indicators of what we might call the latitude of risk within in your own group or team. Helpful as it might be to review the latitude for risk in your team or organization, let's not forget it is just one potential contributor to agility. An agile organization is one in which quick and effective actions are taken when necessary. Reducing structural and cultural barriers that slow the pace of work may be necessary for agility, but are rarely enough. Agility is grounded on an aligned constellation of characteristics and capabilities, including an organization's way of handling internal conflict, implicit and explicit criteria about how success is measured, the availability and transparency of information throughout the organization, its capacity for rapid response when needed, the degree and quality of collaboration in the organization, and the existence of clear, widely shared, and practiced values. Agility is enhanced by making strategy a learning process. Strategic acting is an opportunity for strategic learning, and something essential in today's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous VUCA world. Suggestion for development: measuring latitude for risk. Use these questions to explore the broader climate and context of risk-taking within your group or team. Are we encouraging an appropriate level of risk-taking for us to be successful? What are some examples of appropriate risks that we've taken in the past? What are some examples of seemingly appropriate risks that we didn't take? Are there any patterns in those two sets of examples? Are there certain kinds of risk that we need to be more prepared to take? Are the criteria clear about when taking a particular kind of risk is appropriate? How do we handle mistakes? Does the response to failure stifle even moderate levels of risk-taking? How much risk-taking takes place under the radar? Would it be better if we had a better understanding of the actual level? What would that take? When we know an action was successful, do we also know the degree of risk taken to achieve that success? How well do we use examples of risk-taking with both positive and negative outcomes as teaching opportunities for shared learning and development? How safe do people feel that they won't be punished for taking what appeared to be a reasonable risk if it eventually goes south? What barriers have we imposed on ourselves that constitute obstacles to appropriate risk-taking? What can the leader do more of or less of to encourage appropriate risk-taking? Assessing organizational capacity for action. Listen to each pair of statements, identifying which statement in each pair best describes your organization.